Welcome on in to NCAA Net Profit on Pub Sports Radio. It's day 2 of the Sweet 16, and there's going to be fucking with your eyes open, hearts breaking, women chasing, and it's going to be a fucking good time for everybody that's in San Antonio right now at Southtown 101 for the meet and greet. So, we got 4 college basketball games. All of them are fucking gems. Dr. Mandy quality. And I'm excited to break all 4 of them down with you. And of course, when we have such a good chat, a bunch of fucking OGs, a bunch of straight shooters, a bunch of cock soup servers, definitely going to start the show by shouting them out. AOD, JPZ, Polly Walnuts, Christopher Commentini so far. And I am rocking my UCLA hat. It is a pretty hat. It is a worthy hat. And when they are headlining a game tonight against another blue blood in North Carolina, it's got my blood boiling. So I'm excited. I'm ready for this game. I'm ready for all 4 of these games, and we just got to wait under 2 hours to get it on. So let's start off with St. Peter's and Purdue. Cinderella has one more shot to make it through and take what I have seen be one of the most complete defensive and offensive teams remaining in this tournament out. Now, I think that's St. Pete's right now. What I'm looking at Pinnacle at 13 and a total of 134 and a half. I think that is a number that still has a little bit of value on the under. But with these games, getting extended with fouling, with all kinds of weird strategy that we're not seeing in first halves, what is the easiest way to play this game? And that is to play the first half under. Now, we've had some movement on it. It was at 64 and a half. Now we have a number of 62. And I think that's still a number that we can stay under, because what is Purdue going to do? Purdue is going to live at the free throw line. They rely heavily on getting those chances and those opportunities. And when we talk about their rebounding edge on both ends of the court, their fingerprint and blueprint is hammering the offensive boards. And they do it at an elite level with multiple guards, even Sasha Stefanovic, who can get down and dirty on the glass. So I do think that Purdue on paper has all the matchup advantages. But when you think about and you watch this St. Peter's Peacock team throughout the season and the defense that they brought in, and sometimes the inability to play up to their competition, in the end, deepness, multiple ball handlers, elite 3-point shooting. That's what does it. And that's what St. Pete's needs tonight. The formula remains the same. If St. Pete's wants to win this game, advance, they have to have a good first half. They have to go in and show Purdue, we're not scared of you. We got a defensive game plan for Toronto, Ontario, 7'4" Zach Edey, and the elbows that he's going to be throwing like a fucking MMA fighter on the low block. I love St. Pete's story, but I do think that their run comes to an end tonight. And as far as I'm concerned, taking St. Pete's as a first half dog would be the way that I want to attack it if they're going to be in this game for 40 minutes. So this is definitely another spot where Purdue has not really given you a lot of backup to back them at this type of number. And I think that when we see these types of underdogs at this level of the tournament, first half is a good way to play it. So Elliot V, shout out to you, G Martinez, Ron Lofton, El Dorado, what's going on? I like Elliot's view on it. The Peacocks win margin 1-10. If you're going to take the shot, you might as well take a bigger shot. And I agree with that. However, I really have to be proven wrong on this game with Purdue not advancing. This is just such a deep, complete team. And the Peacocks, while the run has been great, Kentucky really allowed them to advance. So we'll see what happens tonight. It's going to be an exciting game. And I wish that the line was even higher because it would just add that much more value to the Peacocks. Now, let's talk about the next game, which obviously is going to be played at the United Center in Chicago, a place where Kansas Jayhawks have some experience with their sight lines, playing non-conference games. And let's not forget, Chicago does have a pretty deep, dedicated fan base of Jayhawk Nation. So with the people that are residing in the city going to the game, with Jayhawk Nation coming up, I do expect a rowdy crowd and a good home court environment for this Jayhawk team. But when I look at Kansas, Kansas has to get off to a good start. They have the momentum here. They're playing their best basketball of the season at the precise time. And what's something that I've talked about Providence needing to prove itself game in and game out is coming out with a solid first half performance. This is a group that regularly gets down. And with Kansas, they're going to have to really take good care of the basketball versus Providence defense. If they can exhibit better ball control skills, then I think that they can really take advantage of Providence's lack of offensive efficiency. Because let's remember, while you do have Nate Watson and a bunch of guys that can drive, how often do we see Noah Horschler settling for an inside the arc freaking jump shot? I think that that's the problem. You really got to force the refs, like the teams did last night, to blow the whistle. And Kansas, they do have a very good offensive game plan in this one. With Abaji being able to make the kind of shots that NBA players can, and from NBA range, he's always liable to hit one if he can square it up. And with Christian Braun, this is a guy that has all the confidence, is running his mouth. He's got to show tonight that he can back it up. Now, Kansas is going to have to contend with Providence's, I think, their advantage on the glass. And being able to convert the second chance opportunities that you do get for Kansas will help them in the end. The numbers definitely say Kansas first half, and with the line full game moving towards Providence, I like it even more. I know that my guy Dabby Cab is on on Kansas first half. I'm going to be on Kansas first half. And once again, with Providence's sometimes suspect defense and very suspect shot selection, I wouldn't hate a first half under, even with a very talented offensive team like the Jayhawks. So I like the Jayhawks first half. I like the first half under. And as far as full game, it is all about what we get at halftime. I want to see how these teams match up. I want to see who's scoring in the paint, who's getting fast break transition buckets, and how the refs are calling it. So let's roll on to our next game. Obviously, all these are freaking super freaking dubs. And I'm going to save the best for last, and I'm going to move on to Miami and Iowa State. Now, Miami and Iowa State, to be here at this point in the tournament, you are a smart motherfucker if you predicted that. Iowa is a team that definitely can balance their shot selection inside and out, where Miami is going to allow a lot of chances from the perimeter and less from the paint. So with Miami, I think that Miami's on-ball defense has to be at its best tonight. They got to be able to utilize some of the depth that they have on the bench. And if they can't, it does take away from some of the fouling that I anticipate Miami to be committing tonight. Now, for Miami, I think that with this roster, what we've really seen is not a lot of trust in bench depth, and that could hurt Miami later on in this game. But right now, the number is what's most important. We have a 1 in the first half on Miami, up from half a point. We have a 61.5 or 62 on the total. And when it comes to full game, we've seen 3.5s on other books in the market right now. So the line is going to be at 3, in my opinion, by the time this closes. And I think that that's where it really sways me towards Iowa State. I think that full game Iowa State has to be able to lock down defensively, take away those easy scoring opportunities that Miami's going to get, and take away the 1-2 action that you're going to get from Wong and McGusty. I think that Miami's free throw shooting is something that it's going to be a little more difficult to nullify, but it's just a matter of being able to guard without your hands. And constantly in college basketball, we're for that when we're watching games. It's like, why are you reaching in? Just shuffle your goddamn feet. You're going to get the charge call. Now, against this Iowa State team, they're so slow with how they move the ball from side to side. They really have to work so hard and take up a lot of the shot clock to create those shots for them. And unless they're getting an outlier performance from Gabe Kalsher, they wouldn't be in this game right now. Now, Isaiah Brockington is the key player, but I look at Tyrese Hunter running the point, being able to limit his turnovers, being able to make some free throws, and being able to do an efficient job facilitating the offense. I think that Iowa State can pull the upset here. Like, this is a very inefficient team. They're not very consistent, but they made it this far for a reason. And I'm going to push aside the numbers. I'm going to ride with Iowa State full game. I'm going to take the first half under. I'm going to take that full game under, because who wants to play a rock pace? That's Iowa State. And if Iowa State's going to win and cover this number for me, then they're going to play their tempo. So, real interesting matchup. I think it's going to be a fun one. Miami's been fantastic on the road. There's no doubt about it. They made a lot of money for everybody, but I think that this is where their season ends because of the fact that this is a team that if you get them into foul trouble, you take away a lot of their fluidness on offense. Now, I've saved obviously the best game in my opinion for last. I'm neither a fan of either program, but when you get two blue bloods going up against each other in the Sweet 16 in a tournament that's had this much parity already, it's extremely exciting. And I'm just excited to watch this game, let alone bet it. But of course, I'm a degenerate. I've learned from low baggers all over fucking North America that you got to bet it, you got to fucking risk it. And if you don't risk it, you don't win nothing. So I think that when we look at UCLA, from an offensive standpoint, this is a very effective team. I think that consistency is something that they definitely have struggled with. But against this North Carolina team, it's going to be key for them to get that outlier performance from someone off the bench. And there's so many different candidates to provide that, whether it be five-star Peyton Watson or freaking or David Singleton or Jalen Clark. All these guys are capable of giving it to you, but having Jaime in the lineup, him fighting through this injury, still being able to give you good production and 30 minutes a game is the key. I think that you have solid point guard place. You don't have to worry about turnovers. You just got to do a good job on the glass, because that's where North Carolina is going to try and nullify you. Now, if there's a game that mattered most for Miles Johnson in his 1 year at UCLA, this is the game tonight, because Armando Bacot being on the other side is a game changer, plain and simply. If he gets off tonight, UCLA does not win this game. Now, Jules Bernard, whenever he has double-digit points, I don't know why UCLA wins a lot of basketball games. So if you do see Jules Bernard getting his offense going early, I think that is going to lead to a lot of good things. Now, with North Carolina, it is definitely impossible to say right now that this offense isn't humming, that these guards aren't producing. When RJ Davis plays 45 minutes and gives you a 30 bird with the way that he was hitting those threes, that is momentum that you can carry over and really get your teammates amped up for. They are going to need everybody on freaking point tonight. And I'm talking about Caleb Love. I'm talking about Leaky Black. Of course, I'm talking about the two big men in Brady Manick and Armando Bacot. You stop Bacot, I think you have a chance, but don't discount the quality and the determination of Brady Manick. This guy's on a mission to do something that he could not do at Oklahoma, and it is going to be a highly intensified game. I'm rolling with the first half under, expecting good defense early on from both these teams and even more impressive rebounding. I think UCLA wins and advances, but I'll wait till halftime to see how these teams match up before I jump in on the full game spread. All right, guys. El Dorado with the goddamn $10 dono. Can I get a dono train? Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. Listen, there will be no Bible study going on, and damn fucking straight. Elliot V likes Miami game over 131.5. We're definitely differing on that, but I wish you the best of luck. And if someone's got to lose, I don't mind being the one. But I do think that we're going to see a lot of these games be determined by who plays clean basketball, who takes care of the basketball. And if we see UCLA, if we see Iowa State take care of it, I do think it helps them advance tonight. Now, that's really it for me on the 4 games. I do think that there is some value with some team totals. They're obviously very tricky when it comes to this time in the tournament. But when I see any team with a team total under 65, it always is very interesting to me. Those 2 teams right now that qualify would be St. Pete's and Iowa State. If we're going to get a game that has a ton of offense, I would think that it would be the second half of the Providence, Kansas game, or all through when it comes to the North Carolina UCLA game. Now, I do think that with the number being where it is, if the game is close between Purdue and St. Pete's, it could get over, and that could really aid St. Peter's full game team total. But when I see under 28.5 in the first half, expecting this game to be a feeling out process for a couple minutes, and then hopefully some less involvement from the Zebras, 28.5 could be hard for them to get over. So definitely have to approach these games as 2 games within 1. And listen, I'll be cheering hard as a fan tonight for a couple teams, and you probably know why. It's because they got Canadians on them. So I got my Purdue stuff behind me. You know, obviously when it comes to UCLA, North Carolina, don't really have the Canadian contingency, but Iowa State's been a team that's recruited a ton of prestigious Canadians that play the collegiate level. So it's going to be a great night. It's going to be fun. And if you're at Pubapalooza in San Antonio right now at Soundtown 101, you're probably drunk, getting drunker. You're going to have a fucking good time. And if you're going to the Elite 8, I'm fucking jealous of y'all. So let's hit the commercials, and I'll come back with the best bet. All right, guys, let's go with the best bet tonight. Patrick, I like the first half under in the UCLA game, UCLA first half, and then I want to live bet the game at halftime. I'm going to go with the best bet in I'm going to go for a best bet in the UCLA game. I think that this is the game that has the best chance for a lot of offense later on in the game, a close game, an extended game. And when I see under 75 points with UCLA versus this North Carolina team that is going to try and minimize some of their shot possessions and use less of the clock, I do think that it's going to open up that possible 60 field goal attempt type range for UCLA. When I see 71 points, it's just a no no-brainer for me. I'm going to ride with UCLA, the team who I think is going to advance and win the game, and I'm going to ride that team total over 71. That's going to be my best bet for tonight. Unfortunately, I don't have anything from Conor right now, but if you follow him on Twitter and have him on notifications like you should, you will get his action tonight. I believe that he was checking in at his hotel. So we got to make sure our guy is ready, settled in, has tipped the freaking hotel staff, and has a Budweiser in his hand if it needs to be covered up so that the police don't bother him. But a shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. I see Sam Calmer. I see Jake Burns. I see CT Bays. I see freaking PG 187. Who else do I see? I see Mike. Jay Smith. Yeah. Okay. That's about it then. From yours truly to freaking you guys out there. Let the winners be yours. Let the hookers be yours. Let the chicken tenders with honey and not honey mustard be yours. And if you're in San Antonio, party hard. Party like you never partied before. And you know what? Don't be stingy with the local strippers at the strip club. Thanks. Have a great night. Let's get those winners chicken dinner.